There you go. All right, let's go to Kansas. We're going to get a couple of I'm going to ask you a couple of predictions, Salamonster, in a minute here, but let's go to Kansas first. A couple of people have been holding for a while. Kansas, you're on SEC.
It's got to be Jacob.
What's up, Jake?
Hey, I have two questions, actually. The first one is, do you think that there's any possibility that Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler could become a title match like Randy Orton said on SmackDown? Do you think that that's a possibility to happen tonight?
Well, Salamonster, since we're being asked about the match, let's go with that prediction first, and let's talk about the match.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the fact that they actually brought it up on SmackDown instead of maybe leaving it to be a surprise indicates that it won't happen. I mean, it certainly could, but I think the fact that they actually promoted that means it won't happen. As far as the match itself, it's going to be a hell of a match. I mean, I don't usually mind seeing Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler in the ring. We've seen it a lot of late. I almost wish that we hadn't seen them in the ring too much. Maybe this match would be a little more special. But remember, it was a year ago at this pay-per-view. It was September of last year that Randy Orton put Mark Henry over. And Mark Henry won the World Heavyweight title for the first time. He beat Randy Orton, at least I think it was a year ago, at this pay-per-view. And Randy Orton really put him over strong, and I think he's going to do the same thing here. I think we've seen Dolph hit Orton on Raw before, hooking the tights and all that, and obviously Ziggler has eaten an RKO or two in the past, but I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler in this match. I think he's got more to gain by getting a big win over Randy Orton. Go ahead.
Now, Salamonster, is that now you're saying as a singles match, you're not agreeing with the caller saying that he's going to cash it in and this is going to be a championship match. You're saying if it was just a singles match, that's your prediction.
You know what? Well, yeah. I'm kind of torn on this, and I'll tell you why. I'm torn on this because, and this leads into the World Heavyweight title match that we'll talk about, but you've got Sheamus and Del Rio. I said on the sound off, I don't even know how many matches these guys have had. I mean, over the course of the last 4 or 5 months, they've had a shit ton of matches on TV. It's just every single week, Sheamus and Del Rio. I'm so tired of this feud already. And Sheamus has beaten him time and time again. Now, my prediction for that match, I'll just give it now. I don't see Sheamus losing to Del Rio, so I'll go with Sheamus in that match. But I feel like they've reached a point now where him just beating Del Rio doesn't mean anything because we've seen it so many times. I almost feel like tonight would be a good night for Ziggler to go ahead and cash in and win the championship. But I'm a little bit torn because I don't see Ziggler beating Orton and then coming back out and also beating Sheamus.
No, I think what the caller is, Salamonster, I think what the caller is saying is that the World Heavyweight Championship match happens first.
No, I understand what he's saying. What they talked about on SmackDown was Randy Orton was hoping that his match would come after the Sheamus Del Rio match because if Ziggler does cash in and wins the title, Orton wants a title shot. No, I know exactly what he's talking about. What I'm saying is I don't see that happening.
All right. Here, I'll book it like this. Here, I'm going to book it like this, Salamonster. Maybe you like this idea. So let's build upon that. And here, I'm going to give you some specifics. The World Heavyweight Championship match is first because that's what it always seems to be, right? It's always low on the card. Who cares? Ziggler comes in and let's say he comes in and makes it a triple threat match. Let's say he does it a little bit more honorable. I don't know that that's realistic, but okay. Let's say that happens, or more realistically, maybe he comes out towards the end and adds himself towards the end of the match. That could be interesting. Him and Del Rio are beating down on Sheamus. Ziggler somehow wins. Or maybe Orton comes out and helps.
What sense?
How about Orton?
What sense would that make? I mean, if you're Dolph Ziggler, what sense would that make if you cash in and add yourself and make it a triple threat match?
Yeah, right. Okay, let's say he cashes it in. I don't know. Let's say Orton comes out and helps it. Who knows? But then what I could do, here's how Orton doesn't win the championship match. And this could be a very interesting storyline. Sheamus comes out and bro kicks Ziggler during his championship match with Orton, saving the title for Ziggler. And furthering the bro kick.
I
don't think that's going to happen.
All right. Kansas, anything else?
Yes, one more question I had. Do you think that JBL coming back is going to, they might be able to reach a longer-term deal with him?
JBL's on good terms with WWE. This is not going to be a long-term thing. I think he's isn't he climbing his next mountain at the end of this week? I think he's doing another one of those mountain climbs at the end of the week. So, he's got other business. He's got other things to do. But I mean, anything's possible. I know they're on good terms with each other. I mean, if they really want him back, maybe they could work something out where one day a week, he does stuff on, on SmackDown or something like that. But for the time being, as far as I know, it's just for this week, and he's got some charity work that he's doing.